What?
You're home. Oh, another Michigan miracle. Oh, here she is.
So do you remember any of the events that led up to your disappearance?
I didn't disappear. I was present for all of it. I need help. I need 5 people, and I need them to be strong. I'm gonna tell you my story from the beginning. You asked me how I got my sight. The better story is how I lost it.
All right. Hey guys. Welcome to the Just Ty Now shit with your host Ty. Yes, it's the movie review, so hopefully you're having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight special, whatever time this is coming at y'all. Enjoy this atmosphere now that we all in the same boat. We can start the conversation. Hey, yep, guys, we gonna go into the OA today. Finally, okay, let's go. I've watched season 1, 2, and I rewatched season 1 and watched random scenes of season 2 again. This show is like very awesome. Shout outs to Britt Marlin. I got a lot of notes right here, but shout outs to Britt Marlin. That is the co-writer, the co-creator, star of the show. I didn't even know that she directed and did all the behind the scenes stuff, like created it. I thought she was just the star. So this awesome genius mind put this together. But I have to say this, because y'all know how we get in here on the Ty channel is...
Our show channel does not condone the use of illegal or legal psychoactive or any other kind of drug. What you decide to do with your bodies, what you decide to do is for documentational purposes, comedic purposes, research purposes, and just do not recreate anything that you hear or see on this channel.
So now that I have the warnings out the way, we can get into this, because I want to, you know how we talk on this on this show, we're going to tie it into psychedelics, DMT, LSD, psilocybin mushrooms, LSD, many worlds theory, forked reality theory, multiple worlds, angels, dying, what is death, what is movements, what is reality, what is time, what is all of this? This is all the conversations that are held on this channel. So this first, and shout outs to Mr. Mr. Renzo. Over there on, I forget how to say his name, Mr. Rosino, but he sent it to me and said, hey, you need to watch the OA. He just sent it to me in the Discord, said binge watch both seasons, and I was like, yo, the feeling I'm getting from you just telling me this, I know that I'm on board for something. So that's what I did. But I was so hesitant to make this video because while watching it, I was like, damn, this is what's going on with my life, and this is what's going on in the life of the people that I'm connecting with, and the total parallel reality of those synchronicities was just something that I was just mind blowing as everything else that we tie about on the channel, or just everything else that I've run across in my own personal life. But let's get into the OA. It's oh man, I'm not even gonna say what it is, but just part one. It's also that Netflix picked up the show. That's what the show was on Netflix. But part 1, it deals with just the whole overall. It deals with NDE experiences, near-death experiences, and this scientist that wants to map out the other world. But his means of doing it is by kidnapping people that have had NDEs, near-death experiences, and running experiments on them, like actually causing them to come there to have NDE experiences, and then record their experiences for his personal gain, for his gain. And we see that he wants to actually travel throughout the realms himself. But because the story OA it has a main character, one main focus, the OA, and OA is the name of the lady too. Percy, you can call her as well. But but I see this as having more than one main character, more than following just the story of blah blah blah. It's like we're following the stories of woo woo woo. So that's how we're gonna tie. We're gonna really just tie, and that's when you combine your mind with your heart, connect those two circles, and you let whatever come out just come on out. But this, so he studies near-death experiences and things like that. But the girl Perry, who they call her in this dimension that we start off in, she was born in Russia to wealthy father, and she had an accident where she was drowned in the bus, and everybody that was in the bus died. School bus died except for her. She had this near-death experience where she was taken to another world where it was just a box. Well, and that's just how the graphics look, but it was a whole nother spectrum of universes. When she was walking around, it was different universes, just looked like this in tinier hand, but when you tie about it, that was a whole spectrum of infinite possibilities right in that speck. It like infinities upon infinities was just around her. That's how I look at it. And she was just a kid when this happened. But when she went over there, it was like she was calm and she understood things, and tie this into this whole NDE experience, tie this into DMT and psychedelics and things like that. Have a whole, we tie on this all the time, so I'm gonna bring it up fresh. But if you want more info, just check out the previous videos. But what was happening in here, what my tie thoughts is that people that have NDE experiences say that they go to another place that feels more real than real, that seems like it was home, even though their home with their address, with their family, and that they had all this time is what they thought was home and what was real, what was reality. But when they came back, they had these experiences. They came back with the experience of, oh wow, this life is like a stage. This life, they come back with a whole nother sense of sereneness, sense of attitude, of knowingness, but not being able to really translate it, but really just living it out, just really living it out. And people like me that have psilocybin experiences, and I have not had DMT experiences, but connected people that have smoked DMT experiences and LSD experiences, it takes us to this other world or other dimension where we're not able to come back with full synthesis on what's going on. But myself, I have a sense that it's home. I have a sense that I'm going inside of myself, first of all, that I'm going inside of my DNA, and inside of myself is where the universe is where I'm able to get out. Like, and instead of going out into space to go to other worlds, I found that going into myself, I'm able to then escape out. So this, when I say that the OA was really trippy when I was watching this, for those that are not really into psychedelics, but if that's probably, you wouldn't even probably be on this channel if you wasn't. But that's how it feels. That's how it feels. So she has this NDE experience, and she comes back. But she comes back blinded. That's a huge thing of the first seasons. Part 1 is that she is blinded, and so her father sends her away. I'm doing the synopsis of the story just to keep me on track, because it was some huge parts that I just want to tie on. That's what this is about. I'm not gonna be like no other YouTube video you see right now talking about the OA. You feel me? So when she's sent to America to live with these parents that adopt her from this foster home, this bad foster home and things like that. But the fact is that she's blind. And over time she runs away. She disappears, and she comes back, and now she can see. And now she's trying to tell the story to these teenagers that she met just walking around and through different experiences when she came back, about what happened while she was gone. Because the whole world, including her foster parents, are like, yo, what was happening to you? Where did you go? She's like, and it's not even like that she can't try to explain, is that she don't wish to explain because of the severity of the information that she is holding in herself, that she has experienced. It was, in my view, it will overwhelm them. It will overwhelm them to the point where they will probably send her to a psychiatric ward, which is where a lot of people that have these experiences are sent to. That's another story. But the mindset was that it just reminds me of somebody coming back from a trip. Like, yo, what's going on? And when she came back years later, 8 years, 7 years later, after she disappeared, she was able to see. Like, I don't know if I mentioned that, but she was able to now see. So now with that, she was I see that as her able to see reality now, because she was blind. I remember I taught us a lot, is that as kids, we see the world for what it is. We see the world for the beauty and things it is. But as we grow older, the systems start getting adopted into us, and with the programming and things from the world and different people around us that probably didn't even know better for themselves and things, and they pass it on to us. So then we are blinded to what happened, to how we were as a child. We were so blinded. At least I was. I was very blind. I became emo. I had suicidal thoughts. I was real depressed, real depressed, and so I witnessed all of this from an experience for myself. And then with my psychedelic experiences and also integration and pushing myself out into the mysteries, I was able to now see. And this is why I correlated to the OA, how she came back. Because now she was able to now see, and she was moving different, acting different, but to the people around her, she was seeming weird. And I think it's only because she didn't really want to try to explain to them, because they saw the scars on her back. They were just so worried about her. They was like, yo, what is wrong with you? You are not telling us. They sent her to different therapists, had the cops try to talk to her and everything. And then it started getting stranger when she was working with these teenagers and getting them to meet at this house while she told them a story about what was happening. Because she sent out a YouTube video, and that was the other reason why I said this was wild, because like, this is what's happening in this reality. This is what's happening in this reality. And she sent out a YouTube video to say, whoever hears the call, it was just the eye, like whoever hears the call, and meet at this place and all this other stuff. And it was certain people that was sensitive enough to hear it. Like, it was other people that she had to put out on the internet, I see, because that's what connects us all. It pushes the internet out there. So if you don't like it, you get skimmed through it. But if your attention is gravitated towards it, then you're there. You're there. We are there. We are there. So that what was really dope about her sending out the videos, even though her family was trying to contain her. They had to lock her in and say, oh, the doctor orders say we gotta keep your door open so that we can know what's going on. We can't give you internet and all this stuff. And all these synchronicities was lining up. Only reason she ran into one of the boys because she just needed some internet. She wanted the internet Wi-Fi password, and he sicked the dog on her, and she bit that dog back. And it was like, hey man, can I have my camera back? And then they was friends since then. But it's a lot of, it was cool. There's a lot of growing up stories in there when it comes to the teenage and coming up of age and transgender going on. Just getting that all into the spotlight so that we could all witness what's going on in our own consciousness. Everybody's a person. Everybody's a human being. And we all have our own stories to tell. And going into when she was telling them about what was actually happening. What was actually happening was how she was kidnapped by this guy, the scientist named Hap, who was going around studying NDEs, near-death experience. And you see later that he was working with this other scientists all doing it. It wasn't just him. This other scientist named Leon, who was also working on having his captives and things, and was studying their near-death experiences by inducing near-death experiences on them involuntarily and unconsciously too. Like they gassed them up and then would drown them and then record their soundscapes and all these brain monitoring things going on. This just to map it out, because it's like, yo, it's a profit to this. But we see that Hep was not more into the profit more than Leon. Leon was more into I want to develop this technology off of whatever I'm getting out of these experiences, and then scrap the whole project, get all these feelings away from me of kidnapping the people, and that's about it. Hap was like, I don't know, I want to actually dive into the darkness myself eventually. I want to see what's on the other side. Yeah, like Hap had a more interest in it, into more actually traversing the realms himself, even though he still didn't want to do it in the beginning himself. He just wanted to use the other people. And I wrote down and just a real cool tie fact how this tied into our reality is that now they are actually testing when it comes into DMT, dimethyltryptamine. They are now have Alex Gray. This was all revealed in the Joe Rogan podcast by Graham Hancock, where he said in Imperial London College that they are doing experiments where they had developed a technology where they're able to slowly drip DMT into your system so that you can exist in those realms for hours upon hours at a time. And at that, while that's going on, I'm talking about in this reality where we are, where Ty is right now, they want to literally map out the other rim. So the OA, when they have Hap mapping out these realms, kidnapping these people, I was like, whoa. And this just came out last week. This Graham Hancock interview just happened last week. So, but he did mention voluntarily. He did mention voluntarily. And Alex Jones, who was on the Joe Rogan podcast, who was spouting and tying on how these governments and people are communing and meeting with DMT entities or meeting with entities on the other side and having whole conferences on other sides and coming back here and bringing back new technologies and new notes and all these other things. I really solely find so much truth in Revelation. I don't know about Revelation because it's going to keep coming. Things going to keep coming up, being abrupted. But it's so much truth in that. And every truth is but a half truth, guys. Just Thai. But it's so much truth that's being revealed in the Thai world today, in our world, man. Just stick with the Thai-ness right now. Just Thai. But this is just all this was just all lining up. So I'm gonna be talking about the show, but I'm also just gonna be tying as well. He's doing these experiments, and the way that he got them, I just wrote this down at the last second. He was like, you really, the OA ran into her because she ran away trying to find her dad. She ran away from all the home and all the fake adopted parents. She's like, man, I want to get back to home. I want to find home and get back to my dad. And she ran across this scientist, and what she said to him was quoted, you really help and know people like me? And that's what she felt, and that's what Hap was using to abuse these people. Because people that was coming back with these near-death experiences were coming back with gifts, with talents of musical, being able to hear octaves and scales, and being able to sing, play the violin. That's what the Perry was able to do. They came back with gifts that you can tell that when they played and did their thing, that it was this otherworldly sense about them. So that's how he was able to that's how he picked his pride. And with the psychedelic experiences, we're seeing how, with my experiences, I'm seeing how I'm coming back with gifts that I had as a child, or gifts that I loved as a child when it comes to drawing, when it comes to painting, creating stories, and just really telling what's on my mind without just using words, but using pictures and concepts and plays and things like that. And me being able to do that, being able to be creative and drawing and connect with that force, I'm feeling that in myself that I wasn't always feeling before, or I always wished to connect to, that I always saw in other people. Now I see it and witness it within myself. And that's my psychedelic story. That's part of my psychedelic experience, is that I'm coming back with being as creative as fuck, as I say. My creative floodgates is opening up, and as long as I'm sticking with it, it's all good. And this is what's coming back with near death. And I also have a new sense. Of what's going on around me. I have a sense of calmness and peace that I always looked for in the world, that I now have within myself. I'm now able to go into myself to find that peace instead of going out and try to find it. Because it got me real messed up. It got me real twisted trying to do that. And that's how it does to a lot of us. A lot of us are really hurting because trying to find that peace outside of ourselves, when really it's in ourselves. And now I see that now I'm able to be creative. I'm able to bring out a sense of what I have within me out into the world. So now other people can pick it apart and do with it what they will, but hopefully get a huge sense of enjoyment out of it that they wasn't sensing before, and get the sense that they can go into themselves and do it, and not that they have to rely on me, but that they can do it themselves. That's the message of the Tide. That's a message of Tide. Part 2 of this is coming out very soon, today or tomorrow. So be sure to check it out so we can continue this conversation, guys. See you there.